Apartment building were sunbathing when a 160-foot blimp crash landed on the roof. The blimp, hired to promote a chain of pizza parlors, had a huge hole in it, deflated quickly. The pilot and co-pilot are reported in stable condition this morning. Joe Nadro, who moved to New York just 2 days ago, was a witness to the crash. He helped pull the pilot and co-pilot to safety, and he's joining us this morning, along with William G. Armstrong, an airship historian, and I appreciate both of you joining us. Now, there you were, just getting a little sun, right?
That's right.
You have a nice tan, actually. And did you see this thing coming at you?
Actually, me and a friend were up on the roof, and she, in fact, noticed that it was deflating and heading in our general direction. We didn't think it would ever reach us, but...
How close was it when you first saw it?
Oh, probably a mile or two off over the river.
Yeah? And it had a great gaping hole in the front?
We didn't notice that at first. A little later, as it got a little closer and it was spinning towards us, we noticed that there was a huge hole in the front.
So what did you do?
At first, we did nothing. I just told her to get her camera, get a picture of it, but as we started to get closer, we realized that it was probably heading right for our building, and that's when...
You knew at that point it was going to crash.
Right.
Yeah. And the hole was in the front, in the bottom part?
It was on the lower part of the blimp, right in the front.
All right. And then it settled down on top of the apartment building?
I wouldn't say settled down. It came crashing down.
Skidding across? Or
it was probably 30 feet above the building when it completely deflated, and then it just fell onto the building.
Now, did the envelope, in effect, the big part of the blimp, fall on top of the cabin?
Actually, the actual blimp itself, most of it went over the side of the building, and they were lucky that the gondola of the blimp actually made it on the building safely.
Right. Did you pull the co-pilot and pilot out, or did they get out?
One of the pilots came out by his own accord and laid down, complaining of back pains, and the second pilot started to come out, but he was obviously in a lot more pain, and I just laid him down on the ground beside him.
Amazing presence of mind. You thought to get in and turn the thing off. You were worried about explosion?
Actually, as I laid the pilot down is when I noticed that the jet fuel was leaking, and I asked him if there was any fuel shut-off valve or anything of that nature, and he said he tried to guide me in, but he was pretty disoriented.
Hole in the front like that. I had the feeling that when the balloon lost its integrity, it would just go right down, but it didn't happen.
Well, Charlie, if you look inside of an airship, there are two separate bags of air, and as well as the huge bag of helium inside. The control car is suspended by 18 steel cables that hang from the top of the envelope of the blimp itself. The tear that seems to have developed, what Joe saw, the tear developed right forward of the control car in probably in one of the internal ballonets that runs from the control car right to the nose.
So there's a lot of redundancy in these things that really would hold them up. It would take a lot more than a minor tear to bring one down.
It would take more than a minor tear, and it would take. Certainly, I think we can discount the theories that were put out earlier.
I was going to ask you about gunshot.
About a gunshot.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that usually when an airship travels cross-country, there are a certain number of individuals who will take a shot at a blimp, but that won't bring it down.
Crashes are rare with blimps.
We've had a remarkable safety record in the history of commercial blimps and advertising blimps. I don't think we've had any fatalities in 60 years of commercial blimp operation.
Well, very lucky with that pilot and co-pilot, and quite a welcome that you've had to New York.
Yes, it was. It was the last place I thought I'd be.
Come to New York happens. These kinds of things happen.
That's what they tell me.
All right. Thank you both for being with us. Fascinating story. 18 before the hour.